Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Total War Attila Western Roman Empire campaign, where we left off with one of our settlements under siege from the, I believe, the Markomans. Again, I don't have the names present in this playthrough. I don't know why the other factions' names aren't showing up, but I'm continuing to work on that, so hopefully I'll be able to figure it out eventually. But we're being attacked by somebody, and that's really all that matters. And they are throwing about 4,500 troops our way. We have about 2,700 to defend, so we are outnumbered, but we still do have, considerable numbers of our own. So we are going to go ahead and dig in here and try to fend them off, and hopefully keep not only Flavius Felix alive, but all of our men here as well, because we did just upgrade all of these armies, and it would be a real shame to lose them. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Okay, I think we're ready to go here. So just a quick rundown of our deployment. I have some Auxilia Palatina over on the left flank here, just to make sure that nobody sneaks through on that side, although the enemy is overwhelmingly deployed over here. In fact, I think all of their troops are. But we don't know where their reinforcements are going to come from, so just to be safe, I've got Auxilia Palatina here with some Sagittarii, making sure, again, that nothing comes through there. In the main entryways to the upper part of this town, I have more Auxilia Palatina set up in Testudo formation. Behind them, I have the Manalatoy pikes. Obviously, I'd rather the enemy charge the pikes than the spears, but because they do have some archers, I would prefer to screen my pikes against missile attacks if I can help it. But if we're able to deal with the enemy archers with our cavalry, then I won't need to concern myself with that. So that is sort of the logic there. And then behind the pikes, we have the Legio, which are going to serve as skirmishers and then as shock troops once they've spent their ammo. Of course, crossbows or ballistarii deployed in loose ranks behind them, just so that they can, rain bolts on the enemy. Same layout over here, except for I've moved the Legio off to the side to allow my onagers to deploy here. And I'm kind of regretting that decision now, because I guess I can move them right now. I didn't start the thing yet. I'm going to move the Legio over here, like I did on the other side. I'm going to put the onagers here, because I want the onagers to be able to fire on the enemy over here as they approach. Now, my assumption is that their reinforcements will probably come from the opposite side, so this is only going to help me initially. But these tend to run out of ammo pretty quickly, so I doubt we would even have much left to fire at the reinforcements when they got here. Then I have my one barricade that I was allowed set up in this spot. This seemed like the most effective place. And I've got a Legio up on it, as well as a Legio behind it to help defend it. And then our cavalry is sort of spread out across. In fact, I'm going to move this one back here because I don't know where the enemy is going to reinforce from. And we may need to send some cavalry to go deal with them. But I have the anti-Germanic warband lined up here. And my goal is to send them to go deal with that artillery as soon as I possibly can. This army doesn't have any archers, so I don't need to worry about that. I will just take out the artillery, maybe the cavalry. Actually, that would probably be a bad idea. We'll avoid a fight with them if we can help it, but yeah, we'll just kind of harass them in the meantime. And then when the other army deploys, whether it be over here, or behind us, I will redeploy the cavalry to kill any archers and artillery that they have, just so that my pikes will be safe from missile fire. And then the general is setting up camp in the little amphitheater here, so I can deploy him wherever I need him, in the same for the Preventores, because they move pretty well, so I'll hold them in reserve and then just move them wherever I absolutely need them. It worked pretty well for us last time, so let's go ahead and start the battle. And I'm going to speed things along here until the enemy is ready to attack. So I will see you guys then. And just as I expected, it looks like the enemy is deploying from the far side. Yeah, Okay, well, that's fine. I kind of assumed that, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so they have committed their troops pretty aggressively, completely abandoning their artillery, mind you. Their cavalry is here, so I have just gone straight around, and I am going to immediately go after their artillery. Even if they decide to turn these guys around, it's going to be too little too late. We will be able to kill them. We may take some casualties in the process, but that artillery is gone after, I think, like, what, 2 shots fired? They've fired a couple, but it makes no difference. So they're moving toward our right flank and slowly coming up on the left as well. I'm going to deploy this cavalry out that way. And you guys need to just not be where you are, so go over there. And then I think this cavalry is going to hold back for a little while. Ooh, you picked a very poor path to do that. You better hope that you can squeeze through there. Alright, so here comes their cavalry, and they've ran it right into my spears. What an absolute waste of cavalry on their part. But that is fine by me. Okay, and so here's the enemy on this side. No artillery, but they do have 3 skirmishing units. So I'm going to need you over here to help out. And it looks like you guys are dealing with them pretty effectively. We lost 2 horsemen in that assault, but that is totally fine. How are the Ballistari doing? You're getting a couple of kills. It looks like the Legio have expended a lot of their weapons as well. I'm going to pause here because, again, they don't have any more range units on this side, so the pikes are what we want engaging. I'm going to move them up just a little bit. And that line of spears should serve as like a nice second barrier for when the enemy tries to push through. Oh, whoops. I've been playing too much RimWorld. I'm pressing spacebar to unpause. Okay, so that artillery has been dealt with. You guys are setting up the trees over here, and I don't think they have any cavalry on this side, so we shouldn't have too much trouble isolating their skirmishers. Let's see, so they've charged straight into my pikes, just as I had hoped, and we should do pretty well there. We're possibly going to end up taking more friendly fire damage over there than actual casualties of battle. Let's see, yeah, go ahead and start running after them. We need to make sure that they do not see any combat, because I cannot afford to lose pikemen to that. Let's see, I'm going to advance you guys just a little bit, because I may need to rush you in to help out, but it looks like the pikes are holding pretty well. I think having that line of spears really helped, because as the enemy gets through the pike line, they just hit another line of elite spearmen, which doesn't bode very well for them. Let's see, we'll have one of you commit that way and the other commit this way, and you need to go after the other one. And yeah, they've essentially just mobbed this entrance, and I don't think it's going to get them very far. In fact, yeah, they're just breaking one after another on that wall of pikes. And I can't tell, it looks like they did break through over here, so I'm going to have the Legio jump in. There's no point in them just standing there if the barricade's already down. Hopefully our Ballistari are doing some damage. Yeah, they've completely abandoned their skirmishers. Very poor decision right there. I need one of you to go after that other unit, or they're just going to keep throwing shit at you. But yeah, we've effectively destroyed all their range units, so the pikes should be safe. You guys can start moving up. Eventually I will have them flank into the back of the enemy, but I want to make sure that the enemy's committed first. In fact, we'll see where these spears go, but I could pretty easily just destroy these units over here. But yeah, we're going for defeat in detail, and it seems to be working. All their range units have been picked apart. You know what? You go after them. One of you can commit to that, because I think these guys are a little bit faster. But yeah, we're taking them apart one thing at a time. We took apart their artillery first, and then we're dealing with their skirmishers, and then we will deal with their melee infantry. Alright, so one of you come around this way. The other one set up right here. We're going to hit them in the flanks from 2 different sides. And I can only hope that that will almost immediately rout them. Whether or not it will is obviously a different story. Let's pause quickly right here, and these pikemen are going to redeploy. Not like that. There we go. Make sure we get both of them, and we'll move them just a little bit more forward. You guys can advance a little bit as well, just to make sure that they're in range to throw those javelins that they have. Okay, so one of you here, the other one right there. And hopefully we just absolutely crush them. Things look to be doing pretty well over here. I'm not sure why you guys aren't firing. Let's move you like this, and maybe you can start lending your crossbow bolts to that fight. Let's make sure we completely destroy those units. And it looks like you guys are doing just fine over there. We've already destroyed a few spear units charging into our pike formations. See volleys of crossbow bolts flying into the air. A beautiful sight. Alright, so you go ahead and pursue them. Legio, you guys stand your ground, but I may commit you to this fight later. In fact, I could try to... they still have too many units running around. But if they pile all their units here, I may try to envelop them. Let's see. Yeah, run them down, make sure they don't come back into the fight. You guys stay right where you are. We actually didn't take too many casualties over here. That's good. Oh wow, this got completely scorched. I think that means the enemy can run right through that now. Let's have you guys redeploy. Oh, we lost like that whole unit. That's, I think, the most casualties we've taken so far. Yeah, I'm going to spread you guys out a little bit. Just to make sure that the enemy can't, you know, make their way through there. Or can they? Oh no, they still can't move through that. Okay, good. Hold on. You guys don't seem to be listening very well. Run them down. Maybe don't do that. Go after... yeah, sure. Attack them. I want you deployed back there, and I want you deployed right here. Okay. So as the volleys continue, let's take a look at how our Ballistari are doing. Wow, hundreds of kills for each one of them. Even the one that didn't really fire is nearing 100. And it looks like all the others are over. The Sagittarii are doing fairly well too, considering. I don't like Sagittarii. If you guys follow the series, you're probably well aware of that. But 70 kills for them is pretty impressive. I'm actually a bit surprised by that. Make sure that unit does not rejoin the fight. And things look pretty good at the moment. Again, I would like to try an envelopment over here, but they have a lot of troops, and that could end up backfiring if we're not careful. But I think we can pull it off. So let's start shifting you guys down into here. You don't need to be in Testudo for that. Go ahead and shift down there. And I'm gonna make sure that they're double thick. I don't want to send one unit and they get pushed straight through. You guys, well, actually, cavalry, why don't you come back over here and we can use you as part of this. And we'll do the same with the cavalry on this side. Although I do like the idea of them running down stragglers. That will prevent them from attacking us again in the near future, so maybe I'll just have them commit to that. But these Legio are going to attack these spears. And hopefully they're quick about it, because if we're not really efficient with the timing here, it could end up not working out very well for us. Come on guys, a little bit faster if you don't mind. And let's see, Praeventores, start moving this way, because you can help me out with this. Let's have you guys join the fight. I don't know if that's a good idea, because that might break the pike ranks and cause all sorts of problems. So you two, since you're the fastest, do me a favor and get over here. You stay right where you are for now, and you're going to charge them in just a second. Actually, why don't you kill those levies since you're right on top of them. And let's see, that Legio should be engaging any second here. Actually, shift over. You attack there, and you attack here. And now that they're surrounded, I imagine that will be... Oh, those Praeventores decided to charge up the middle. Well, in that case, let's just commit everybody and turn this into a giant melee. I'll do the same here. And let's see, you know what? I think we've got this pretty well into wraps. Let's make sure we're taking out these units. Who broke? Was it the Praeventores, since they ran right through the middle? Oh no, it was one of my Legio. It was the Legio that we tried to wrap around. Yeah, they didn't quite get there. That's what I was afraid of. Is that if they were caught on the move, they could get easily dispatched. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not surprised by that. It was a chance worth taking. I have enough men left, obviously, to, you know, take a few risks here and there. So I went for it, and obviously it didn't pay off. There's our victory. So oh, we got the general too, nice. I'm going to try to kill as many of these routing enemies as I can, but you guys don't need to watch me do that. So I will go ahead and cut here, and I will rejoin you guys once I have wrapped this up. Alright, so I'd say that's a pretty solid victory. We'll take a look at the numbers here. So yeah, we deployed 2,700, they deployed 4,500, just as I sort of estimated. They lost basically all of that, a little over 4,400. We lost less than 300 men, so I don't even know what that ratio is. Let's see, something like 15 to 1? Pretty insane. They lost every unit except for this Germanic Spear unit, and oh, that's literally it. That's all that survived. I ran down everything I could, which apparently was everything but that. And basically every unit that we deployed came to play. Some of them didn't get to see a lot of combat, obviously, but the ones that did, for example, the pikes, we're looking at like 200 kills, if not more, for every single one of them. The Legio, like these two right here, 110, 109 kills without a single casualty of their own. I imagine a lot of that is due to the skirmishing weapons, but still, if you can kill essentially an entire unit on your own and not suffer a single casualty, that's pretty impressive. And then these ones that saw a little bit more melee combat did have some losses. Not quite as many kills, but still, if you lose one guy and kill 67, I'm good with that. The Ballistari, very impressive. Only one Ballistari was actually killed in that entire battle, and each one of them killed somewhere between, like, let's see, 170 is the low end. Yeah, 170 up to 302, so they just absolutely slaughtered the enemy. And then, as usual, our Germanic Warband, 305, 331, 273, 308, so around 300 kills for each one of these. And two of them didn't even suffer a single loss of their own. This one took 4, and this one got a little bit more roughed up because they charged into melee, but still, pretty impressive numbers there. The onagers didn't do a whole lot for us, and I think part of that was because that building caught fire that they were behind. Not a big deal. Of course, the general didn't actually need to join the battle at all. These Auxilia Palatina got the worst of it, but honestly, it's not a huge loss for us. Again, they were just kind of a screening force for the pikes. This Legio did pretty well too. This one had a bunch of kills, but once they got caught out of position in that envelopment maneuver that we tried, you know, they were going to take some losses no matter what. The Praeventores actually did pretty well considering how late I deployed them. 45 kills, 11 losses of their own. Not terrible. And then the Sagittarii, I'm actually impressed, 90 kills. It's rare that we get numbers like that from these cheap archer units. And then 344 from the Scout Equites. I would expect no less from my cavalry. So yeah, that went about as well as could be expected. We're going to take the unit replenishment here because I don't need the money nor the loss of integrity. And these guys already hate me enough, so I don't know that killing them really serves any purpose. So yeah, we'll take the replenishment. Alright, so it looks like we're being attacked again, this time in the desert. They've decided to commit all of their forces to attacking one of my armies, which is pretty much the only move that they had. They couldn't just sit there and wait. This is the Getulians, by the way, down in the desert, the ones that were setting up to be conquered by the Garamantians. So we had them effectively surrounded, and we're waiting for the Garamantians to come in, just as a reminder. So what they've done is they've committed all their forces to the south, I believe, to attack, who is this again? Which general are you? Gnaeus Vitulius. So they're committing all their forces to attacking him, hoping to like break this encirclement that we've got going on. And we are going to fight this. If I retreat, they're just going to pursue and crush this army anyways, so I'm better off standing my ground and trying to fight them here while we're fortified. If we lose this army, it's not that big a deal. They're all mercenaries. And honestly, Gnaeus Vitulius is fairly new as a general anyways, so he is replaceable. But we are out of time, so we don't have time to fight this out today. It's going to be a pretty lengthy battle, I imagine. We're looking at roughly 2,000 of our own men against about 3,200 of the enemy, so we are outnumbered, but not as badly as we were in that last fight. I am assuming that we are properly fortified here, but it is possible that they caught us before we got fully set up, in which case we may not get the full benefit of being fortified. So that would be a problem. Still, we'd be better off standing our ground than retreating, because they will catch us. And I'm pretty sure they're resistant to desert attrition as well. It looks like all the troops that they're deploying are desert troops, and so long as they have the right perks with their generals, they shouldn't face any attrition, whereas my general unit is going to take attrition no matter what. So yeah, we're going to stand our ground, and we will fight this battle first thing next episode. So I'm going to leave you guys here. As always, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Total War Attila with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.